it's me, Rachel, here with Senza Tempo Cane Corso. So I'm here with my girl Velocity. She's looking real good. I have really good news. She's now officially cleaning the puppy. Really happy about that. No need for me to be waking up every, hour, 30 minutes, whatever, cleaning the puppy off. She's definitely doing a good job there now. I think all of her hormones have officially kicked in and her mothering instinct is in full effect. So I'm really happy about that. Also, the diarrhea has gotten better. This is what I gave him, and it has worked so far. I've given him 2 doses so far, and it does seem to have been done the job. Oops, over here knocking stuff down. I also purchased some stuff online to try to help out as well. It'll be here on Tuesday, so we're excited about that. I also picked up these rugs from Home Goods today because a breeder friend of mine told me that it's better for the puppy to not be on such a slick surface. So I went ahead and I did that, and instead of the sheet. And I have actually 4 of these, so when these 2 get dirty, I'll put them in the wash, and then I have the other 2. So that's pretty cool. They're kind of like, they're the same thing as like you would have like where the tub is at. So it has a rubber backing. So that's cool. The puppy has been nursing very well. I don't know if you can see, but he has a nice full belly. So looks like he's really going to be very healthy. Despite the diarrhea, he has not lost any weight. So that's cool. So very happy about that. Velocity, like I said, is, being a good mom. She's, taking care of him. She's laying there, letting him nurse. She has never growled at him since the first time, which, like I said, I think it was just a scary situation. Totally new, and she just didn't know what was going on. But she's just been doing a really good job since then. I did want to answer some questions that I saw on the last video. I had some people asking questions about whether or not I would consider not breeding her again after this. And the answer to that is yes, absolutely. She didn't do anything wrong. There's nothing in that one, honey. You tried. Yeah, she didn't do anything wrong. Velocity, quit. She always wants to kind of like she does this thing that would normally be good whenever you have many puppies, where she wants to kind of give him, she wants to basically roll over and show these bottom ones here. But unfortunately, because it's just him, it just knocks him off. But truth be told, he's a really chunky boy, so he's doing fine anyway. It's like being the only one at a buffet all by yourself. So anyway, but yeah, he's doing very well. Like I said, I haven't had to make him go to the bathroom, so I don't quite know where his stool is at, other than the last time I checked him. When he first, yeah, he's done. He's got a full belly anyway. So when he was first going, it was like liquid, like mustard colored liquid. And then the last time it was like a gel consistency. So it definitely had gotten thicker. So that's a good thing. So I'm hoping that that's a trend that continues. But like I said, I have some meds on the way for him as well. They're not like meds. They're not antibiotics or anything, but they are things that will help his GI tract. So yeah, so as far as breeding Velocity again, absolutely. She didn't do anything wrong. In fact, she did a great job. A lot of females that have small litters like this have to have cesareans. She was able to have him natural, so that's a good thing. As far as the puppy that passed away, there are some people that were speculating it was, because of the labor, this and that. It's possible, but it's just also possible that the puppy wasn't going to make it. There's really no telling. Those of you that have been watching a long time know that every single time that I've had a litter, I've always lost one puppy, every single time. Cashmere has always lost one puppy, whether it be born, sometimes they're born DOA, and then I've had them where they die less than 24 hours later. And then even Blondie had one that was born that wasn't alive. So the puppy that Velocity had just had no chance of survival. So I don't think that, it's my personal, I don't see why the one that was born early, like earlier would have been better off than this one here that was born later, right? It should have been him if it was a labor problem. You know what I mean? So anyway, because he was in the birth canal longer. So no, I think that it's just an issue. I think there's multiple issues, and I'll tell you what that is. So, last night, I was feeding Blondie, and I noticed that she had, some drainage, and, it was like a dark kind of, dried blood. And the thing about it is this is about the time that she would have been whelping her litter, if she had conceived, which I do believe that she did. I called my vet and asked him about it. And he said, I called him today actually and asked him about it. He said that most likely what happened is that she reabsorbed her litter, and that that is basically her body clearing itself out, instead of having a full labor, because there's no puppies in there. Her body's just basically clearing itself out. And that it is confirmation of the fact that she was indeed pregnant. And I think a lot of us saw that. She was very big early on, and then it just diminished. And after speaking with my vet, so I have two different vets. I have one vet that is a reproductive specialist, and I have another vet that's just a normal, regular vet, okay? The one that is the normal, regular vet is the one that I went to for the x-ray. And he's also the one that I went to whenever my dogs caught that bug. And so he prescribed an antibiotic by the name of metronidazole and an anti-wormer or anti-parasitic by the name of febenzanol. And I did not know, and had I gone to my other vet, the reproductive specialist, he would have told me not to use it on my pregnant females because that's his job. He knows about it. Whereas my other vet's like a general vet. He didn't know anything about it. Is that you don't give metronidazole specifically. Febenzanol, some people will, some people won't. But metronidazole specifically, you don't give it to pregnant females because there are a lot of well-known side effects that have been observed in laboratory animals. So it was very frustrating to me to hear this. I had speculated with my best friend, Sprezzatura Canicorso, about this. And we had both kind of looked up a little bit about it whenever this whole, thing happened with Blondie, where we knew she was pregnant and then she wasn't all of a sudden. And we saw that there were some issues with metronidazole. So what I think happened here is that when I took Velocity in for her ultrasound by my reproductive specialist vet, he saw 4 puppies, for sure. He saw 4 puppies. That's his job. That's his expertise. He saw 4 puppies. But she only had 2 in the x-ray. Now, when I took Blondie in for an ultrasound, she had none. There was nothing. Now, the difference between these 2 pregnancies is that Blondie was, or Velocity was farther along. She was bred earlier than Blondie was. And so I think that her pregnancy was farther along, and so 2 of her puppies were able to make it. I think maybe that's why the one that didn't make it. I think it's possible that something happened to that puppy that made it unable to survive, and this is the only one we got out of it. So, it's just something that I've kind of speculated on. When I got the x-ray, as I told you guys, there was some speculation that there could be 4 puppies in there, and we only saw 2. My vet could only confirm 2, because that's the only ones that could really be seen on the x-ray. But, you know, there was the potential for 4 because we had seen 4 in the ultrasound. So I asked my vet at the time, do you think she can naturally whelp these puppies? This is not the reproductive specialist. This is the guy that did the x-ray. He said, yes, not a problem. I asked my mentors, do you think she'll be able to whelp these puppies? They said, yes, absolutely. One of my mentors actually said she had a litter with only 2 puppies, and they whelped naturally. And they were actually much bigger than this guy. They were over 2 pounds each, and this guy's only 1.5 pounds. So there are bigger puppies that have been born naturally out of small litters. So yes, while there are inherent risks when you have a small litter, and they do oftentimes end up in a cesarean, they don't all. Sometimes they can be birthed naturally, which was the case of Velocity. She was able to have these puppies naturally. There was no stress or abnormality to her body. There was no, it's not like there was like, you know, like a decaying, you know, fetus inside her or anything like that. The vet was very clear with me, the emergency vet, that if they thought that there was any damage to her uterus whatsoever, they were going to spay her. Because I'm sure you understand they have their own liability. So Velocity's good to go. You know what I mean? She's very healthy. This is a, for all intents and purposes, a normal, you know, litter. Not for her as far as the number, but nonetheless, everything after that is proceeding as normal. There's nothing that would prevent her from being able to be bred and continue and go forth. So yes, so will we breed her again? Absolutely. We'll continue her breeding schedule as normal. There's no reason not to. And you know, she's doing very well. She's been cleaning the puppy, which is very good, like I said. So I'm very happy about that. There's no concerns over her mothering ability. You know, she just had a rough start, and you know, it happens. There's been people in the comment section that said that they also had similar reactions, whenever they had to have cesareans, and they had, or even just anesthesia, things like that. She obviously didn't have a cesarean, but nonetheless, you know, it was still somewhat traumatic in the sense that there was, you know, oxytocin put in. She wasn't at her home, yada yada. So anyway, and that may be my fault. You know what I mean? I may have rushed her to the vet too soon. You know what I'm saying? Like, she may very well have just needed more time, and I just, you know, like, didn't give it to her. There's just no telling, you know what I'm saying? She may have, you know, been having, as many of you know, she's a little, she can be slightly dramatic, I would say. So for all I know, she could have been kind of like, whereas all my other dogs, maybe the early whelping symptoms, they kind of go through it silently, and Velocity may have just been more vocal and may have seemed like she was in a harder labor than she actually was. I don't know. This is all kind of me thinking and kind of trying to go over what happened and try to make sense of it all. So, but everything's fine. There's no reason that she should, you know, be retired or rehomed or anything like that. She's doing a really good job. Now, I did speak with one of my mentors, and he told me that that even 4 puppies is a small litter, and that he felt that it was in my best interest to not do artificial insemination. He said that in his experience, those litters are always small. He said he's heard of people having bigger litters, but that he hasn't seen it personally with very close friends and stuff. He said what I experienced is pretty typical, 4 to 2 puppies. And he said the reason for this, and I have actually confirmed this, and I had already looked into this on my own, is that if you Google and really look into why it is that when dogs, when they copulate, they stay together for about 15 minutes. The reason for that is because the male has several different types of liquid that go with his contribution. And that is necessary for his contribution to be successful. Whereas when you do an AI, what they do is they call it, they spin it down. That's what they call it. And they basically spin all the fluid out, and they just get his, you know, it's like a little nugget, right? Just only his contribution, right? His little swimmers. And then they deposit that directly into the cervix. Now, while it is a much higher rate of pregnancy, it doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to be a very large pregnancy. And so, going forward, what I'm going to do is I will still do the hormone testing for sure. I'm still going to do hormone testing, but instead of doing the cervical AI, I'm just going to basically go off the hormone testing to make sure I'm getting the right day, and then do the natural, let them naturally do it. That way I don't run into this problem as far as having a small litter. And then as well, so that it isn't as small as hers, or so that we don't lose a litter like we did with Blondie, I've learned not to medicate my dogs when they're pregnant. What my mentor said that I should have done is to have just fed them a lot. He said they probably would have been fine anyway, and then treat them after they have the puppies. He said that really young puppies like this can't get that kind of parasite that they had. And in fact, I almost thought this puppy had it, and I contacted my vet yesterday, and he's like, no, they don't get it. He's like, that's not what's going on. So anyway, so I say all this just, because I know that there are a lot of breeders that watch me and people that want to be breeders. And I always feel that being open and honest about what we do is the best way forward, even if it leaves us open to criticism. I think that, people are going to criticize no matter what you do. And so it's whatever. But for me, what's most important to me is that other people learn from my experiences. I don't know what I would do without the mentors in my life. They mean so much to me. I'm so thankful to have them, to have these people that have been doing this for over 20, 30 years, that are willing to share their wealth of information with me and knowledge, to be there for me, the whole time when Velocity was in labor, and to be able to talk to me and tell me what they think and all this. I have this kind of beautiful network of people that are very honest and willing to help out. And I feel so blessed to have these people. And I feel that, it's kind of that thing of where you pay it forward, that really awesome trend that people used to do where they pay for the person behind them for their meal. Mm-hmm. For me, I'm paying forward the knowledge that I learned for you guys. I want everyone to be able to learn from this, from my experiences, what I'm doing, how I'm doing it, maybe mistakes that I've made, things that I'll do differently in the future, my experiences. That way you guys can benefit and maybe, understand more about either what it takes to be a breeder, or how to be a good breeder, or even, the effort that goes into breeding these dogs, so that maybe as a pet owner, you really are thankful and you understand what goes into producing the puppies that you have in your home and that you love. So that's about it. If you guys have any other questions, just, write them in the comment section below. I'd love to be able to answer any of them that I can. But like I said, Velocity's doing great. She will be bred again, no problem. Hopefully we'll have, a bigger litter. And, that way we won't have, the issues going forward. And, maybe next time I'll actually give her a little bit more of an opportunity to have the puppies, instead of rushing her to the vet like I did, thinking that, oh gosh, maybe something's going wrong, when in reality she was able to do it just fine. And then also, I've spoken with a breeder friend of mine who said that maybe I can speak to my vet about possibly prescribing me, like when I have a female that's going to have puppies, maybe he can do a prescription for me of oxytocin to have on hand in case we get to a position where we need it, without actually having to leave and do this whole traumatic run to the vet, go to the, have all these strangers, poking and prodding and IVs and this and that. So yeah, so that's about it. Hope you guys are having a great day. I know it's late, but I had a lot to do today, and I wanted to spend some time with Savannah. So yeah, hope you guys are having a good day, and I'll talk at you later. Bye.